Well, hello. I am sitting by a freezer that's thawing out right now. Um, so I don't know if I've said this before or not, but I have, in addition to the normal refrigerator that comes with our apartment, uh, I also purchased a stand-up freezer some time back. I have a chiller, which we really kind of use for keeping bottled waters and things like that. And the freezer I have that's a stand-up is like 5 cubic foot freezer or something like that, maybe 7 cubic foot freezer. It's one of the uprights with a door on it versus like um, the kind of deep freezer that has the lid you lift up. And then I have beside me I have a 3.5 cubic foot freezer that I'm thawing out because I need to get it wrapped up tomorrow. Trying to put kind of like items together. So like the bar, I have the bar wrapped up. I finished wrapping up the bar today. Wrapped up a couple pieces of furniture last night. I have these kind of cognac love seats and chairs that are, part of the same pair. And that's usually my living room set. And so I I wrapped a couple of them. I can't wrap all of them because I sleep on some of them because of my sleep disorder, which is probably what I'll talk about in this video in a second. But let me make sure. Still videoing. Okay. Heard a noise on my headphones. Sorry. So, so I wrapped up the bar today, cleaned out all the contents of the bar, put them in a container, wrapped it up. It's really funny. I was talking to different people, and someone says, it's really weird that you wrap all your furniture, because I shrink wrap my furniture before I move. And the reason being is this, not that I'm suggesting that they don't clean their moving trucks, because this company is pretty good that I've worked with before, but there's no way they can get all of it off. There's also, odors that stay in those trucks because of dirt and all kinds of stuff that just gets stuck in the space. And even though they do a really good job of cleaning it out, I've never had a problem with this company doing a good job. I don't want to take a chance. I simply just don't want to take any chances on it. I wrap my furniture usually before I move, and then I can just unwrap it. I've cleaned it, and I know it's clean when I open it up. Don't have to take a chance on there being dirt or anything on it because I shrink wrapped it. I know the condition of it before I put it on in my new home. I also remove the legs from my sofas so that there's no chance of it getting hit against a doorway and potentially breaking off or getting damaged or whatever else. Once again, it's not because I think this company does that, nor have they done it in the past. It's just a precautionary method. It doesn't hurt anything for me to remove the legs and kind of shrink wrap them and put it. There's underneath my love seats and my chairs, they have these little zipper compartments. And so I just take advantage of those and put the feet and the screws that go to those chairs underneath that, and it's all together. And then I can, mark it with my tags to be put in the living room or wherever I'm going to be putting stuff. So getting this freezer thawed, I have another little mini fridge up here, right there, that still has some items in it. I will pull the items out of there and put them in the refrigerator, and ultimately defrost this little refrigerator. I'm not going to do it tonight, but I will do that ultimately. I probably should start defrosting that, actually, now that I think about it, so I can wrap them all together and put them all at the same time. But the goal will be to put this this 3.5 cubic foot freezer with the little 3.5 chiller that I have in the back, and put those on top of the bar so they can be grabbed. I'll shrink wrap them tomorrow, make sure they're all done, and then I'll wrap this little refrigerator. And then I have the stand-up cooler, which I need to get done, and get that done tomorrow, hopefully. The big stand-up freezer I will not, because there's a bunch of stuff still in it. But this little freezer here, I can do that with. Oh, I see what's going on. It's my battery on my headset that's dying. As you can probably tell, I'm a little tired. So I went to see the sleep doctor on Thursday, the 23rd, And I didn't see the actual doctor, and I'm not insulting the person because the lady named Sydney was very nice. She was the NP, the nurse practitioner. But I didn't see Dr. Ashwin Gowda, Gowda, which is the person, who is, I think doctors now in a lot of ways are like supervisory positions now versus being hands-on in some places, because nurse practitioners can do pretty much everything doctors can do, except they can't do surgery. They go through a lot of the same training, a lot of the understanding of prescription for medication and things like that. And that's a very common thing now for nurse practitioners to be more active and run offices and things like that. And then the primary MDs will take care of things related to really intense situations like surgeries or procedures they need to commit because they're trained to actually execute those things. But so I did talk to the NP yesterday, and she said she's going to get me set up to go do a sleep lab. Now, I've heard of sleep studies before, and I thought the sleep studies were like, a day, a few days, maybe a week. But apparently it's only like one day. So I go in and I stay overnight and I sleep, and then they wake me up in the middle of the night, and then they kind of tell me the next day as they monitor my sleeping what kind of disorders I have when I'm sleeping, what the issues are, things like that. I know I have a severe snoring problem. I know I've had a lot of times where it sounds like I'm having trouble breathing. My relationship in the past, people I've been in relationships with have said they hear me sometimes go like I'm trying to catch my breath, like I stop breathing, and it's freaked them out a little bit. So, from what I understand from talking to the nurse practitioner Sydney yesterday, she said that it could be that I need like a CPAP, or she said it was something called a BiPAP or something to that effect, but it's a next level up from CPAP. So it's still a mask. It's just a different machine in the way it kind of helps to, I guess, regulate your respiratory system as you're sleeping. As many people know, I only get more than 3 or 4 hours of sleep at night, and 3 to 5 hours of sleep if I'm lucky. And then when I get up, I have still very tired. And then basically, as the day goes on, let me take this out of my ear, put it aside here for now. No, that doesn't turn off the camera. Yeah, it looks like it's not going to turn off the camera. But I do that so that so I only sleep 3 to 5 hours, and then when I get up, I'm not rested. It's not like a refreshing sleep. I do dream from time to time, but it's not super common. And a few hours later, after waking up, I feel tired again. So I do have a problem with that. So hopefully I can find some way to get more consistent sleep, because so as I was telling her yesterday, I'm kind of jumping back here. So I sleep for 3 to 5 hours a night if I'm lucky. And that's a little more solid, but not super solid. I don't ever really enter REM sleep, which is what you're supposed to do to get rested and to help regulate your body and restore your energy. So I don't do that. It impacts a lot of things, including your metabolism, which could have impacts on my weight and all kinds of things like that. But bottom line is, I sleep for 3 to 5 hours a night, and I get up, I'm not terribly refreshed. So after I get to be about 3 or 4 hours into the day, I get tired again. And if I lay down, which I don't normally get a chance to do that, I usually pass out in my chair for a few minutes or whatever. But if I lay down, and I'm not talking about like a recliner, just like my office chair, I can just kind of pass out because my body's still not recovered from sleep. I haven't gotten enough sleep recovery. But if I do lay down and try to sleep, I can sleep for another 2 or 3 hours, but it's even worse. It's more like I'm kind of tossing and turning. So I'll sleep a little bit, then I'll wake up, I'll sleep a little bit, wake up, but it's never for consistent periods of time. Excuse me. So I never really enter REM sleep, especially on that second track of the day. And it just makes me more listless, and it makes it harder. So I have to really push to kind of get things done. So from what the NP Sydney was telling me yesterday, the nurse practitioner Sydney was telling me yesterday on Thursday, what's going to happen is in a couple of weeks they'll call me for the sleep study. So it'll be after we move. I'll go back to the same the same center I went to for my meeting yesterday, for my appointment. I'll stay there overnight. They'll monitor me half the night, just sleeping normally, and then the other half trying to use like a CPAP machine to see how well I sleep with that. And then in a couple of weeks after that, after they've gotten the results, they'll come back and make recommendations to me for what needs to be done for my health and everything like that going forward. Excuse me. So hopefully everything will work out with the insurance. I got to get that taken care of. I beg your pardon. Sorry. So that's the thing that's going to be working on with my, so it's progress. I'm just wondering, you know, will I ever sleep solidly again? You know, will I ever sleep again? And I hope that there will be a resolution to this, because I really need it. I really need some kind of resolution to this whole thing. So that's what's been going on today. Doing the packing stuff. It kept me pretty busy because we were 6 days away. So I've got to really focus on that. I was actually sharing with my family earlier. I was sharing with them earlier that I was like concerned because my roommate has had the opportunity to do extra work on Saturday. Today there was a potential she could have worked on Saturday tomorrow. And she was trying to do it, and I'm just like, this is our last weekend before we move. I really need her packing the stuff in her room because I'm pretty much packing everything else. And I kind of felt like too much was being put on me to do all of it. And I was making all the exceptions for my business and everything else I've got going on. I can't, you know, I'm taking breaks from doing client work and things like that right now, because I've got to get us ready for this move. And I felt like I was taking on more than I should, that it should be more of a shared process. And my mother was telling me that, you know, women are different from men, the things that they need. And I realized that women have different needs than men. She also said, you know, that, you know, my roommate lost more of her sight later in life. And so the adjustment process and things like that are way different for her. But here's the thing. I don't think losing sight changes your ability to organize. I think my roommate just has never been really great at organization. I think it's a great concept, but I don't necessarily know that she's ever been terribly good at organization. So I think she gets overwhelmed by stuff, and she doesn't really know how to pack like items with like items. And I have a feeling she's going to be having all these boxes that aren't marked, and she's just going to be, you know, not knowing, digging through a bunch of different boxes to try and find stuff that she's missing, because she's not going to remember, oh, I put those shoes in with, you know, that pair of pants and that piece of paperwork that I needed. And I hate having to go through that, but I really don't have any control over it. I've got to just let her do her own thing. And I know she's doing the best she can, but it felt a little frustrating. I felt a little overwhelmed. What are you doing, babies? You okay? You okay? You all right? There's my puppies. The bear, he's got his ball. He's all happy about his ball. Hey there, buddy. You okay? You okay? Come here, son. Come here, Simba. Simba. Come here, Sim. Come here, Simba. Come here, Lion. There's Simba. There's a bear. He wants to play with his ball. How you doing, buddy? You doing okay? Go lay down in a few minutes, okay? Go lay down in a few minutes. Hi, bear. So, there's Simba right there, Mr. Baby Lion. He's a good boy. My little loyal baby lion. There's my bear over there. Bear over there. There's kind of a bunch of different stuff on the floor right now, so I'm not going to shoot the floor right now because I'm kind of, it's got stuff everywhere. But anyways, so part of me just needed to vent because I felt overwhelmed and like I was taking on more of this than I should have to do alone. But, part of me just needed to vent it out. I know she's doing the best she can with the skills that she has. And, but it's just tough because it's overwhelming. And part of me wants to continue to have a roommate after this year, but part of me wants to just kind of finally get back in my own place. I lived alone for a long time, the last time I lived with someone, really lived with someone long term was when I was with my ex, Ellen, and she and I lived together for 3 years. And then had, in and out a little bit, people staying with me, but never anything like, super long term. A couple of months here and there. But I just really I think I'm better alone in some respects, and in some respects I think I'm not better alone. You okay, Lion? Okay, baby? Tired? You're a good boy. I love you, son. I love you, baby Lion. Such a good boy. Love you, baby bear. So it's just hard to know what the best choice is going forward. I've got 14 months in this lease. Should expire roughly around the end of April of 2024. And I'll figure out where it is. I still don't think I'm going to be staying in Texas. I think it's time to move on, but we'll see how this plays out. But yeah, sometimes part of me just needs to vent stuff. But I've come a lot better. I'm not as defensive as I used to be when I was younger. And when I was younger, people would say, well, this and that, I'd become more defensive. Be like, but no, you're wrong because of this. And now I'm far more like, well, I try to consider people's perspectives on things. I'm not saying that I'm just wishy-washy and that I'll accept everything and every concept people present to me. But I will try to, if they're presenting something that honestly I have no perspective on. So, for example, I don't know what it's like to be a woman. So I'm not going to make any assumptions. I don't think any man making an assumption that they understand what it's like to be a woman is realistic, because men and women think differently. We have different habits. I mean, yes, men and women can have similar habits in certain respects, but the things women have to do and the things men have to do for their health or for their sanity and things like that, it's all a little bit different. And I do think there's a gender difference. I don't think there's a gender inequality. I think there's a gender difference, though. And we have to respect that, there's things we're not going to understand as men that women have to go through. And to assume that we do is pretty arrogant and pretty naive to believe that we understand just by saying, well, it's as simple as 1, 2, 3. Well, maybe women don't operate on 1, 2, 3. Maybe they operate on ABC. So it's still the essentials, but what they consider an essential is different from the way we define an essential and a necessity and things. So I'm trying to learn and be respectful. Good boy, baby. I love you. I love you special. I love you, you beautiful little lion. Good boy. So I'm trying to respect people more. And really not just close myself off when people give me feedback. I'm trying to listen more. Listening is really, is really the most important thing to do, is listen. Because if you're not listening, you're not learning. Doesn't mean you don't share your experience and all that. Good boy. But you've got to listen. You've got to listen. And we'll see how things work out with the sleep study, the sleep lab. I'm going to go do in a couple of weeks. Hopefully it will add up to something positive, and we'll see if I ever sleep solidly again. I did get some good advice today about PCPs. My friend Angela, she was talking about what she does to make sure that, when she goes to get her, her healthcare taken care of every year, she kind of makes sure that she does any blood work and anything like that before she goes to get her annuals, because most healthcare plans will give you free annual, evaluations without copays or whatever. And so she chooses to make sure she takes advantage of the moment and goes and she has her blood work done so that by the time she gets in there for that annual appointment, she can say, what were the results of my blood work? And so I'm kind of getting reacquainted with this whole concept of having a PCP that I see every year. And that kind of advice is good because I just, once again, I haven't thought of it that way because I haven't done the doctor thing in so many years. I am feeling like a swell on my left calf, not in my right calf as much, but in my left calf. But I think it's part of because, like I said, I sleep sitting up. And even Sydney, the NP at the Texas Sleep Medicine, was saying yesterday that you should have your feet elevated to at least the same level as your heart, if not a little bit above. And I don't sleep that way. My legs are down here at my waist height, and then, I'm sitting up like this. So I'm not getting all the circulation to my body, and my system's not working properly. So hopefully, I can get to a point where I can allow my body to get to run and flow its the way it's supposed to. We shall see. We shall see. So I guess that's where I'm at right now. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good day. Big weekend ahead for us on packing. I hope you have something fun planned for the weekend. I'm happy because I continue to get organized more and more the more I do this stuff, but it's still, a task, but it's a good long-term building task of continued organization for me. So I hope you have a great weekend. Do something fun. Spend quality time with the people you love. Make the moments count and enjoy yourself. And I will see you soon. Be well and God bless. Take care.